Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Homeschool Minnesota. My name is Dayle. I'm your host today, not your guest. I'm always the host. You know me. Anyway, um, Homeschool Minnesota is a podcast outreach of MÂCHÉ, Minnesota Association of Christian Home Educators. Thanks so much for taking the time to be with us today. Have you ever wondered what the adoption process is like? Do you feel like God might be leading your family into the world of adoption, or maybe you've already are in the process, or you've already adopted some kids? We know that there are children all over the world who need a home, who feel like they need a family, who do need a family, here in the United States and around the world. And today we get to talk about the really wonderful blessing of adoption with somebody who has that story. His name is Jean Russell, but I'm assuming it's French pronounced, and I'm
Yes,
not good at that.
Emmanuel Jean.
Emmanuel Jean Russell, who was adopted from Haiti and wrote a book about his journey. It's called My Name is Emmanuel. My name is Emmanuel.
Hello. Yes, hello.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel. Sorry about that.
No,
And
you're good.
it's a great story. I liked it. I read it a few times just to kind of get the feel of it. And I just am so excited to welcome Emmanuel with us today. Hi, Emmanuel.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. So
Hello.
tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Emmanuel, and most people call me EJ because Emmanuel Jean is my initials. So
Okay.
when I got adopted, my parents just took the initials of my first and last name.
Uh-huh.
But I was adopted around 2001, and we moved to Washington State, which was completely different weather up there.
Yeah.
So I went from hot to like cold and kind of rainy. So
Wow.
then we moved to in 2011 we moved to Nashville, Tennessee. So that's where I am now.
Okay. Nashville's still a long way from Haiti.
Yes.
A little warmer than Washington,
Oh
possibly.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited to talk to you today because one of the parts of the story that I love and that just resonates throughout. It's the thread that kind of goes from the beginning to the end of your story, and it's about your name and how your
Mm-hmm.
name is something that your grandmother uh, used to kind of in Haiti to talk with you about some different why it's so important and
Yes.
special. Can you tell us a little bit about why your name is so important and special?
Well, I think either my grandma or my mom named me that. I don't 100% know who gave me that name, but
Okay.
whoever did wanted me to know that God is with you no matter what, no
Mhm.
matter your surroundings. And it's just, especially for my life, it helped me to realize, like, to never forget. If somebody says my name, it also reminds other people too. People will say, "Do you know what your name means?" And that's a great way to start a conversation. So
Yeah.
it works both ways.
Yeah, and you talk about in the book how, your grandmother would say that to you all the time, like, when there were thunderstorms and you were afraid as a little boy,
Mm-hmm.
God is with you, and then when it was time for you to go to an orphanage to get put up for adoption, she just hugged you and was like, "Never forget that God is with you,"
Mm-hmm.
and, oh, it
Exactly.
was just touching. It makes me cry. I love that. I love that. So, what was it like to share such a personal journey and such a, just a deeply personal details about your life? What was it like to write about that now?
Yes. Well, so I call these memories shadow memories because obviously I was like 5 or 6 ish, so I
Right.
can't fully remember what I went through.
Mhm.
But it's like if you're on the beach, you can see a shadow, you can kind of tell some of the details. And so it was the reason why I kind of wanted to write it is to help kids nowadays because a lot of kids don't know that there's a plan and a purpose for their lives, and especially with the world, the way the world is. And I thought I can actually do both things where I can tell about my grandma, which nobody really knows about. And it was cool to actually give her an image because I don't remember fully what she looks like. So the artist was able to give an image to her. And on top of that, kids can know, like, it doesn't matter. There's a plan for you from the beginning.
Yeah, I love that. Since you were adopted at a young age, tell us your sense of family and how it has changed from like what when you were younger, like
Hmm.
how has it changed being adopted um from one culture into another and your sense of family and relationship?
Yeah. Well, so when I first got adopted, what I quickly got involved in my family because we loved movies. One of the first movies I watched was Jungle Book, kind of reminded me of myself in Haiti, Mowgli and the bear. And so but we did a lot of sports and that was the main connection. Just soccer, football, basketball, and we did a lot of bedtime stories. So like Junie B. Jones, Dr. Seuss, and so those were ways that helped me to connect to my family real quick.
Yeah, it's so good. Um, you talk in your book a lot about just your experience in your orphanage that you were in Haiti and how it was they you did a lot of singing and a lot of
Oh,
worship
yes.
and can
Mhm.
you talk a little bit about your experience there and what that was like?
Yeah, so basically every night we would do worship outside, and it was a Christian orphanage, so which was good, and
So good.
they actually also disciplined us. If somebody did something, we all got punished, and so like especially if you didn't come out and say I did it, and so we were like pretty behaved. Obviously, we were kids, but they made sure that we knew who Jesus was, and so yeah, every night we'd all worship and into Jesus, and so yes.
Wow, that's so good. What so okay, so if we have families that are listening, we have families from all over the world that listen
Mm-hmm.
to this podcast and um they're not just in Minnesota even though it's homeschool Minnesota. It's and they're
Okay.
not all homeschoolers. there
Wow. Okay.
there's a lot of people, but anyways, what advice do you have for families who are thinking, gosh, I've been feeling like God wants us to adopt
Mm-hmm.
or they have just finished the adoption process or in the process. What
Mm.
advice do you give to those parents? Because you came from Haiti, which is a very different culture from
Yes.
Washington or just the United States in general, for nurturing and caring for a child's sense of identity, bringing them into a family.
Mm-hmm.
How does, tell us, just take some time to just talk us through what your parents did that helped you feel like you belonged in their family.
Yeah. The first thing is just you have to treat them the same. You can't you can't treat them more special than the adopted. Like it can go both ways. So like you got to treat them just all the same. And if it should naturally come if you put Jesus first, all the process should come naturally. Um, in a way where it's like you feel the adopted kid feels loved just as much. But also, like I said again, just sports, movies, like just family time. That's dinners around the table. We didn't get that in Haiti, and so all of that, it just you'll feel connected no matter what if you do those
Mhm,
steps. And
mhm.
that's not just for adoptions, though. Families nowadays need to do that more, probably. Like I think
Yeah.
everybody there needs to be more family time, and so I don't know. But
Well, what does it feel like to be I mean, because I have to assume, and maybe I'm wrong, that you had times of disconnection
hmm
as you were, like, transitioning from your grandmother to your forever family.
yes.
What does that do for for a child? Like, what does that
Well,
feel like, and how does that like, how did you tap into whatever it was that your grandmother placed in you to
mhm.
overcome that?
Yes, at first, like, I believe I was a quiet kid, so and I learned to be through, again, sports, I learned to, get out of myself, and through like, honestly, too, bedtime stories, like, just like I said, Dr. Seuss, all
Yeah,
those adventures that just took me I didn't have to think about, like, "Oh, I am an adopted kid."
yeah.
So, just and even the Bible stories too, just, what was, gosh, what's
Just
the
feeling just
Veggie
dis
Tales.
Oh, Veggie Tales, gotta love
Yes,
Veggie
like
Tales.
watching those with family and, like, younger kids like me or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so I didn't really have to think about it too much, honestly, in my
okay.
situation, but it's not the same for everybody.
No, no, I'm sure it's not. Um, if a parent adopts a child from another culture, sometimes that culture can just be as easy as, black to white or Hispanic
Mhm,
to, whatever. It can be just different culture in general, or north to south in the United States is a different culture. To have like, if you were adopting a child from a different culture, what did your parents do to help you adjust, and then to also maybe honor the culture that you came from, so you didn't feel so disconnected?
okay. Well, so football, soccer is a world sport. That
Yeah,
was the first thing. So right away, it felt like home playing anytime we played football. We did a lot of like nature stuff. So it felt like because in Haiti you go and get mangoes, coconut trees. So in Washington we would go to the forest, go frog hunt. We called it like frog hunting, but we would just catch frogs, catch snakes, just outdoor stuff. Go
cool.
pick plums, blackberries, which picking blackberries felt like we were picking plums in Haiti. And so just similar things like that, going camping. But yeah, for my situation, it was very easy. But I
Yeah.
don't think that's for everybody's again.
No. no, I'm sure it's not, but just trying to what I'm hearing is keeping things
Yes. Oh,
normal as
yes.
possible, and not making things just and bringing that child in and treating them as everybody else,
Yes.
not singling them out to the positive or
Mm-mm.
to the negative in any way.
No.
And then also just having just established rhythms that
Mhm.
that child just slips right into, and then
Yep.
finding things that they enjoy so that you can get them, like you enjoyed soccer, so getting you right away involved in
Yep.
soccer.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so good. Um, so you have a favorite page in your book that you want
Oh,
to read out
yes.
loud. So
Mhm.
I would love for you to do that.
Yes, and the page is kind of it deals with so the story starts with snow and it ends with snow because in Haiti we don't get snow, and so snow is one of my favorite things.
Oh, me
And
too.
yo, it just makes everything look 10 times more beautiful, I
It really
believe.
does.
But this is the last page, and so it's one of my favorite because I don't know if you can see the drawing. Is it
Yeah.
showing up? But we're
Yep.
like sledding, making snow angels. There's a little snowman. But yeah, I'm gonna read it. I would love to read the last page for you guys. It says, 8 months have passed since I got adopted, and I've learned something. I love snow. Haiti never gets snow, not ever. Right now, there's a blizzard coming down. This white, fluffy stuff falling from above makes me giggly inside. My siblings and I are going sledding soon. Sometimes at night, I still think about my grandma, and I thank God for her. I understand the meaning of my name now, Emmanuel. God is with us. God is with me. He always has been. And so,
That's
yeah,
I love the way your
that's
story ends. Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
so good. When you look at your adoption journey, what do you think is the most important thing for kids to understand about adoption?
That all the one thing I say is we're all adopted because
Yes.
you have to be adopted into the family of Jesus. And so it's just I was adopted twice, but like you have adoptions for everybody. So yeah, it connects to us. I think we're all connected in that way where we all have to be adopted into the family of Jesus. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How can families now you have some foundations and
Oh
organizations that you're
yes.
involved in. How can families be involved in adoption? Maybe they want to, adoption isn't cheap. And so a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times if you don't feel called to adopt, you can actually donate to these organizations that will
Yes.
give scholarships to families who are
Mm-hmm.
wanting to adopt. So talk about like these different organizations. It's in your book. You have them listed in
Yes.
there. So can you talk about each one of those a little bit for
Oh
us?
yeah. So the first one is actually my mom, which some of you may know as Karen Kingsbury. She's a much bigger author than I am, but um, her foundation is called One Chance Foundation, which I put in here, and it just basically because adoption, like you said, it can be expensive, but you can help. You can send money, obviously. You can
Mhm.
send help to families that are looking like grants because families that are trying to adopt need grants. And so,
Yes.
what One Chance does is we help pay for those grants, those fees that sometimes slow down people that are trying to adopt. But that's the One Chance, that's my mom's foundation. And then obviously you've probably heard of Compassion International, and that is they get involved with churches, but again, it's just you can this is ways where if you're like I don't have the money to like obviously adopt a kid, and not everybody is
Yeah.
called to do that, but you can help these foundations by sending in money. We have Skip One, which is you skip a meal and it helps you send that meal like this one I like because it's for like kind of my generation and like maybe a little younger where you can skip a coffee and send $5 in
Wow,
or skip a movie and you send the $20. So like it's little things. It's but they all add up. And so
that's
that's
really
for Skip One.
I like that.
Yes. And then He Gets Us is not really a foundation, but it's more of like even if you like you can it's there are videos that they show where it's like he was in our position before you thought you were. So like I love those commercials that they have and like it's just it's a fun one to look into.
Mm.
And then we have You Were Seen, which my mom started, Karen Kingsbury, and basically it's a card that you can make. So basically it's a way where if you're going out to eat and um sometimes we don't notice the waitress or the waiter and we don't know those around us like a UPS driver, anything, but you give them this card and you give them a little tip with it and you hope that they will see this and then want to go to the website and learn about Jesus.
Yeah,
And
because there's a
so
QR code on the
mhm,
card that they can scan
yes. Yep.
and then it takes them to the gospel presentation.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm. And so, and that's a way where you can. I love these because it's not just all about adoption. That's not my story. Like I want to
yeah,
help. this is for helping everybody. And
Right.
so, yeah,
Yeah, your heart, Emmanuel, from what I can gather, your heart is to actually bring Jesus to people.
yes,
And your story is a way that it's
yeah,
like your
exactly.
platform to get that notification out there so that people know who you are, but your heart is evangelism. Your heart is
Mm,
to bring the gospel to people. And
exactly.
so you are very, very much a part of the You Were Seen movement, right?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
you
yes,
direct
yes.
that now?
Mhm. I
Yeah.
send out cards. If you ever get cards, I'm the one that packages them.
Nice.
But yes.
Nice. That's so good.
Mhm.
That's so good. Um, any, any thoughts like for families that are looking to adopt, where would be a good place? I mean, you might not know this because you haven't adopted, but
Mhm.
what would be a good starting point
Well,
for
yes.
families?
I think obviously asking other families that have adopted, but and that's mainly my answer to when people ask me that is just ask families, but obviously prayer and then but I believe if you do it, you're not going to regret it. Just like if you have a kid, you're not like there's going to be joy and obviously there'll be some like it's not going to be perfect, but it's
Yeah.
going to be worth it in the end.
Did you have some down days when you after your adoption, when you moved to Washington State, did you have some down days where you were like, this isn't,
I didn't I didn't have down days. I had more like I was shy. I was just a shy kid.
you're a shy kid.
So, yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited to have this as part of our podcast. This is something that is close to my heart. Our family. Well, first of all, I was actually adopted by
Oh,
by my dad. My mom is
wow.
my biological mother, but my father adopted me when I was 16, of all things. But it just took
Wow.
that long. Financially for them to be able to afford to
Mhm.
do it. So I was adopted, but also having been a missionary in Guatemala, we worked with we were foster family for children that were waiting to be adopted by American families, and so
Wow.
we fostered babies that were getting ready to go,
Mhm.
and we also worked in orphanages quite a bit, and we have friends who run children's homes now. They call them,
Wow.
and so it's just really wonderful to see just how God moves around the world and how
Yes.
he uses adoption to fulfill his purposes in people's lives. And
Yes.
I often say, I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for my dad. My mom
Mhm.
is wonderful
Wow.
and everything, but boy, my dad, he just really brought that stability of Jesus to our family that
Mhm.
we didn't have before. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be. So I'm just so grateful for the gift that adoption can be. And then also reminding
Yes.
ourselves that we are adopted into the
Yep.
family of Christ, right?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
so if you guys want to see it again, this is the book. Hello, my
Oh,
name is
yeah.
Emmanuel. It is published by Tyndale Publishing, of course. All the information will be in the description of this podcast, as well as information on the foundations that were mentioned here that you can get a hold of, even if you don't have the book. I want to put them up so that you can grab them in the description of the podcast. And also, if you have any questions about homeschooling or anything we talk about on this podcast, you can contact us at Mache and we're happy to help. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for being on our podcast today. I really appreciate your time. And thank you
Yes.
so much for your book. What a blessing.
Yes, and thank you for having me. This was a blast. It's fun sharing my story. I actually got to read it to a few weeks ago to a Sunday school classes. It was like 4 classes of with more than 40 kids in each, and
Wow.
they loved it. It was
It's
a
a
blast.
It's a great book. If you're thinking about adopting or if you're in the process of adopting, getting this book and reading it to your children so they can start to understand that perspective and it opens conversation. And
Mhm.
if you have maybe a family member who adopted, you reading it to your kids so that they know that their new family member, that what the process that they've gone through, and then giving it to that family so that they can read it to their children. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just so many good things about this story that you're going to get a lot out of. And so I would encourage you. It's a great book. Got a great information in it, but it's just
And the
a really
artwork.
the artwork is
It's
incredible.
I
I
love that's one of my favorite
The
parts.
pictures of you are just adorable. I'm
I
like,
love the art.
yeah, it's great. And I like that it's the way that they depict Haiti. and the way they
Mhm.
depict like the beaches and the
Yes.
mountains and the food, and it's just really, really beautiful. And then again at the end with the snow angels, and I just
Yes.
love that picture too. So
Well, thank
yeah,
you.
it's a great book, y'all. Just pick it up. I will have, of course, a link of where you can purchase it in the description of this podcast. And just thank you again, Emmanuel, so much for coming, and God bless you.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you so much for having